The 754th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Heidi ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 754 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to one of our friends on YouTube, Dark Scarecrow, who has given me a new nickname already. Wasn't expecting the Canadian pube face to go away so soon, but it has.
Sad. I'm sad it's gone.
I know. I could always rotate back to it. My name now is No Laundry Jeff Fox, or Jeff No Laundry Fox. I think I like No Laundry before it. No Laundry Jeff Fox. So thank you, Dark Scarecrow. And I have changed my shirt. It's another MMA Gambling Podcast shirt. It's very faded. Doesn't smell so hot at this point, but that's what it is. So yeah, as I said, I am No Laundry Jeff Fox, and we are here to cover our last regional event of the week before we jump into the UFC. Today is all about LFA 201, Conceição versus Silva. Not like the other couple cards we have covered. Nothing has fallen off this one as of yet. There's some wood. Knock on wood. So as of this recording, at least, so we have a full fight card coming to us from Brazil this coming weekend. Obviously, you don't want my picks, even though I probably could make good picks, but I don't want to overshadow the genius at regional MMA picking himself, the one only Daniel Gamble. We haven't had an update for a while. How are you doing this year? With
we talked, I think, a little bit about it. We had a really nice octagon this past weekend. Dana Silva hitting as a underdog. Seada Alkipa hit as an underdog. And it got us all the way back to even money on the year after an atrocious start with Aries early on.
Aries hurt you. Yeah.
Cursing the name of Aries. Also, I want to comment on your nickname here. With No Laundry in the front instead of the middle, it strikes me like No Love. Remember No Love?
Yes.
But not Cody Garbrandt, because that's Cody No Love Garbrandt. Do you remember who had it in the front?
Oh, I do remember No Love. I can't remember.
Tapped out Anthony Johnson, if that helps.
No, it doesn't still.
Rich Clemente.
Oh, really? Okay.
No Love Rich.
I never would have guessed that. So, yes.
No?
Yeah. So, hopefully there's not another No Laundry. I'm sure there is. Every nickname's been taken. They're not all pit bulls, but every nickname has been taken. So, LFA, not in France, not a French promotion. So, we're expecting some good picks out of you here, Gumby.
Yeah, this one is a weird one, though. I got to say, and I meant to say this off the top instead of riffing on your nickname for too long.
No, that's fine. That's we're all done.
But this one's a weird one because I'm sure while you were doing the research, you noticed LFA loves to go to Brazil. It's like they're home away from home, right? Like they obviously do events in Niagara Falls and Texas and this place and that place, and they're coming to Connecticut soon, possibly with a heavyweight title fight. I'm pumped about. But when they go to Brazil, it's usually like a big Brazil on Brazil violence card. It's super exciting, and there are a lot of those fights here. Mm-hmm. But then there's 3 main card fights that they found Russians for.
Yeah, 3 Russians, 2 OBS and an O.
Yeah, and I was like, I almost thought it was like a typo, like there was a mistake. And so it's a really weird move by LFA, but one that I think should make for some interesting matchups.
Yeah. No odds yet, unfortunately. Today is Tuesday. Yeah, probably by tomorrow, you would think, right? More than likely. Usually LFA is a Wednesday type of thing.
Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. I mean, we've seen them somewhat recently as early as Tuesday. But the only issue with that for this week is we do have a UFC pay-per-view this weekend, which usually takes a lot of the book's attention. So
yep, that is true. All right, before we dive into it, that's not all we have this weekend. We have something called the Super Bowl, aka the big game, and we are running. We, as in SGPN, we're running a free squares pool for the Super Bowl, $1,000 winner take all for the finals score square. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares to sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. All right, let's dive into this event that we've been tiptoeing around. LFA 201 Conceição versus Silva, Cajamar, São Paulo, Brazil. February the 7th when is that? That is Friday. So another Friday event, Gumby. We're busy on Friday. We got 3 events. We've
Triple
already
screen.
covered. Yeah, triple screen Friday. This is 7 p.m. Easterns. They're kind of staggered out a bit. I think the first one was 4, right? That we did. Fury was 4. And then why would you guys don't have a holiday on Friday, do you? You Americans?
It's Super Bowl Sunday. Why would they put a card on Sunday?
Yeah, no, that's true. But Fury starting at 2:00 their time on a Friday seems like an odd move. That's why I was thinking, is there a holiday?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just trying to get ahead of the other evening ones and staying off of their usual Sunday.
Yeah. So we got Fury, and then we got Invicta, and then actually this might start before Invicta. I think Invicta was a little bit later. Anyhow, you have to watch 3 screens. So then Saturday will be all about the UFC. So we got 15 fights going down in the Ginásio do Palivo in Cajamar, Sao Paulo. We are not covering all 15. I won't even make that joke. We are time constrained. We're going to do 5 in depth, and then Gumby has 10 more that he can choose from for lightning round.
I got 2.
Fine. And of course, if you want his opinion and or picks or opinions on betting lines or anything, you can hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You can hit us up on in the comment section on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast, or SGPN MMA on Twitter. There. I'm giving Gumby extra work because people are going to be hitting him up now for his opinion. All right, we're starting off with a main card fight. It's heavyweights. Oh boy. André Vieira, Vladimir Dayneko. Guess which one's Brazilian? Guess which one's Russian? Dayneko. It should have a V. Why? What happened was V? It should be Daynekov, should it not? Anyhow, he's Dayneko. He dropped the V. We'll do him first. The Russian is 16-5. 12 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times, so all his losses have come via knockout. He owns his rounds. By my math, he's only gone the distance once. This is his LFA debut. He's won 5 straight and 7 of 8. All of those are via finish. He's not lost since December 2020. Was regional champion. He's fought at 205. 2014 pro MMA debut. 2-inch tight over Vieira. Yeah, it is interesting if LFA becomes a hub, not just for Brazilian, but for Russian fighters too.
For Russians who want to get their foot in the door without being tied down to ACA or something like that.
Yeah, that's good. I'm all for it. That's great. Yeah.
Probably easier to get a visa for Brazil too than it does in the States. So
yep. Vieira is Bebesauro. Babysaur. So like a baby dinosaur, I assume.
Yeah.
Is what we're going on here.
It is. No, that is
I know. That is what it translates to.
And he fought Bebe Zhao too.
Oh wow. The baby battle. He's 9-3 with 5 knockouts. He's been knocked out 3 times. 0-1 in LFA, 2-1 over his last 3, 4-2 over his last 6. Got TKO'd in his last fight. He's a regional champ or was. He's fed at 205. Based on the last weigh-ins, he's 14 pounds heavier, so not much of a baby dinosaur. I guess dinosaurs, even baby dinosaurs, are big. And no odds here. Gummy's going to tell you what the odds are.
Yeah, I think Dayneko is going to be a massive favorite. My guess is like 400. If he's not, bet him.
What if he is? Bet him still?
Yeah, probably parlay. I mean, like they should be violent and they should be fast. And I'm not even saying that as a Dayneko believer or this is not me saying get in on Vladimir Dayneko. You're going to see him in the UFC soon. In fact, I don't even think he's a heavyweight, if I'm being completely honest. The guy is probably
light heavyweight.
Yeah, not only did he used to be a lightweight, I'm pretty sure his last fight was light heavyweight. So like he regularly fights light heavyweight and he doesn't look like a heavyweight. With that being said, Vieira is really bad on the feet. Like really bad on the feet. Low hands, walks forward, begs for you to knock him out. And so far, plenty of heavyweights have obliged him. I mean, he got knocked out by Bebe Zhao, who is a guy who, I think of as being a little bit more of a grinder and good with, top control and ground and pound and stuff like that. But I do want to say that, like, he's walked forward and done that enough times over the course of his career that you have to imagine Dayneko knows that he's just going to walk into something here. If he does walk into something like that, Dayneko can 100% knock him out. I don't know what Vieira's path to victory is other than maybe he thinks he's big enough that he can just shoot a takedown and lay on him. But Dayneko's good enough at takedown defense. His takedown defense is held up nicely, granted against light heavyweights, but I think just about anybody with decent boxing can knock out Vieira. And I think Dayneko has good enough boxing here that this is going to be a good avenue for him. So I'm going to take Dayneko. I can't imagine that this is a fight they will have odds on the props at all. But if they do have odds on the props, Dayneko first round knockout.
Yeah, it looks like like topology was 94 or 96% for him. So,
Yeah,
even
I think it should be larger than that.
even without the V. What if he had a V at the end of his name? Would it be 100% for Dayneko, perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay, we are back with another Brazil versus Russia bout. This one's way down at lightweight, though. Paulo Henrique, a proper Brazilian name, versus Vladimir Kanunnikov. Kanunnikov.
You worked your way through it. You got there.
That's a good Russian name as well. So we have classic Brazilian versus Russian names here. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. Let's break her down. Kanunnikov is 17-2, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. This is his debut as well in LFA. He's won 8 straight and 9 of 10. He's not lost since October 2019. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. We'll tell you about it soon enough, but big game is your code. 15% off for that. Used to fight at 170, 2013 pro MMA debut, a year younger than Henrique. Henrique Leia is the name. Laia. So not Luke Skywalker's sister. Sorry, that's a spoiler, isn't it, for people? Sorry. Mark that as a Star Wars spoiler from how many years ago? 40-something years ago? Henrique is 18.
I think 50. 50 years ago.
Not quite, but okay. Nice try. I was around when they came out. 18-9, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted twice. This is his LFA debut as well. He's won 2 of 3 and 4 of 6. Got subbed in his last fight. He also has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at welterweight as well. 0-1 pro grappling, 2 inches height over Kanunnikov. So is this another bringing in a Russian assassin to take out a Brazilian here?
I don't know. I do think the line will be pretty wide here. I think you're going to see like -300 on Kanunnikov and like +275 on Leia. And also, just for the people who like to do their own film study, if you are one of those sickos out there, it's a lot easier to find Paulo Leia than it is to find Paulo Henrique.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't exclusively go by it, but it's like in there to separate him from all the other Paulo Henriques. And sometimes he exclusively just goes by Paulo Leia. So this is a weird one for me in a stylistic matchup, because Kanunnikov kind of fights the way that you would expect a Brazilian regional prospect to. He's kind of a stockier guy. He tries to bulldoze his way forward and get takedowns and be in top control. But I've never found him all that really impressive once he's on the ground. He's kind of just like in guard, sometimes half guard. Doesn't really do all that much with it. And Henrique is, first of all, such a weird shape for a dude. Like, he's 6'1", which is a pretty tall lightweight, but he has 6'8" reach, which is bizarre looking.
And NBA style.
Yeah, he's wiry and like really long and weird. And that obviously makes him like a really big question for like, how do you deal with that guy on the feet, right? Is like, what do you do when you're like a short, stocky Russian guy and you don't know quite how to deal with that? Like, that is, in this one, a little bit of a problem. But also, I will say this. I don't even trust Kanunnikov on the ground, because here's the thing about Henrique. Henrique is a guy who has used some really advanced jiu-jitsu stuff that I think sort of gets overlooked. Like, I watched one of his fights. The amount of times he uses like a deep half guard to sweep his opponent and to come out on top. And like, his wrestling, I wouldn't consider his wrestling high level, but his jiu-jitsu's such high level that he's sweeping much better wrestlers and winding up on top with like good submission type positions. So, Kanunnikov being a guy who I've never really trusted his position, paired with Henrique being like very interesting jiu-jitsu wise and being so long on the feet that he'll probably have an advantage there as well. All of that comes together to me and say, like, if he does come in here at like +275 or, gets close to 3-1, I think maybe it's worth it on Henrique. So I'm going to go with Paulo Leia here. I'm going to say he's my fun little Brazilian underdog here.
But only if he's a massive dog.
Yeah, I would say if this comes in close to even money, he's a 6'1" guy with 6'8" reach who likes a deep half guard from the bottom up against like a Russian wrestler. Yeah, maybe I don't want that guy at even money. Maybe this is a value play, but I do think his submission skills are tricky enough, and I'm like not sold enough on Kanunnikov that I like would want him anywhere near like -350. I think Henrique wins this fight probably 1 out of every 3 times, and that's all you need there to get your money back or better.
Yeah, 6%. according to
yeah, I believe it. I mean, when you watch him fight too, like at first you're like, this is one of the least like impressive physically dudes I've ever seen. Like he's just not impressive physically. But he's
long.
Like, the skills are there.
Yeah, he's long. That's a athletic plus usually. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, before we dive into any more DraftKings time. This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is the Super Bowl LIX. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gumby has some fine print to tell you about.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Thank you, Gumby. Very good voice as usual. I know it starts off saying problem. It's supposed to say gambling problem. Don't call that line with all your problems. They don't care about your relationship problems or work problems. They only care about gambling problems. All right. Okay. Rhythm. SGPN's partner, Rhythm, is a number one AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build you a model. NFL. That's a hard word to say, apparently. NFL picks, NFL props, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm has it all. Al Horford props, damn right. They have it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RTHMM. All right. Our last of the Russian versus Brazil matchups is the next fight, that we are covering. Third from the top. It is 145. José Delano. He would be the Brazilian. Abu Muslim Alikhanov is the Russian. No surprise by the names. Who's who? 3 5-minute rounds. Alikhanov is merciless. He's 7-0. 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. This is his debut in LFA. He's won 2 straight fights via TKO. He went 1-0 in 1 championship, so he's fought the biggest and brightest in the world. That joke will never die. He used to fight up at lightweight and up at welterweight, an inch taller than Delano. Delano Z is a nickname. Not Z, how do you say Yogi Bear again? Z.
Checomeya.
Yes, not that. He's just Z. 14-3. 3 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 5-1 in LFA. He's a former champion, so at least this Russian's not being given easy access to the promotion entry. He's won 2 straight in 13 of 14. Won his last fight via submission. January 2023 was his last loss. Regional champion. Used to fight at 161, that famous weight class. 6 years younger than Alikhanov.
Yeah, so going into this one, this is one of the ones where I and those who I know in the field disagreed on who would be the favorite. They told me they think all 3 Russians will come in here pretty heavily favored. And I assume, being the former champion, looking as good as he did, like, I don't know how Delano wouldn't come in as the favorite here. So for me, I'm going to say pick him here because I don't know how to rectify the fact that we have different opinions. Usually the opinions line up pretty quickly. And I'm going to go with Delano. I am really impressed with his range management. A lot of times with some of these regional fighters that you think are like good strikers, you notice it takes them a while to sort of find their range early in the fight. He has got it immediately. And it's almost like I'm trying to figure out what about what he does lets him hit his opponent like the first time he throws a jab and hit him flush. But he does. And add that to along with his footwork, and he's like really hard to hit and gets his offense off really early. Alikhanov, kind of like Kanunnikov in that, you know, I think of him as mostly just a wrestler who I'm not blown away with in his position. Actually, Kanunnikov maybe has like slightly better striking. Like his hooks are loopy, but at least it's like, you know, more fundamental. And I think here, Alikhanov, like if he just shoots takedowns, I think Delano's takedown defense is good enough to hold up. You know, before when we were talking about Paulo Leia, like there, I'm basically just hoping he's long enough that he stays away. But here with Delano, like the footwork is really going to carry him against the guy who wants to wrestle him that bad. And then when you add in the fact that like he hurts you every single time you make a mistake, like he'll step out of range and then hit you with 2 punches. Like that to me is enough to get in on Delano here. So I hope my friends who work in high places are correct. And for some reason, Alikhanov comes in here as a favorite. I can't imagine it's actually going to happen, but I'll take Delano at even money if he's anywhere near it.
Topology's got 71% for Alikhanov, so you may get your wish, Gumby.
That's nuts. I don't understand it at all.
Based on that, what do you think you're going to get Delano for? Based off what?
I mean,
what
again, like
told you.
So Tapology is not always correct when it comes to these things. But it's surprising to me that they're overlooking him as a former LFA champ. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like he like lost his title and then went on a 7-fight losing streak. And then you're like, oh, he should have never had it. He's like looked good since he's lost it. So, I mean, like if those numbers were correct, it would probably be Alikhanov like -225. And if that's the case, I'm all over Delano here.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Doggy dog for Delano. I'm saying it wrong. All right. Now we're back. Now nothing but Brazil versus Brazil. The rest of the way.
Back to what it feels right.
Yeah, exactly. The way it's supposed to be. LFA interim flyweight championship. Why is it interim, Gumby?
That's actually a really great question. Eduardo Chapolin is the current flyweight champion, and I don't see anything about him being hurt. I don't see anything about him being booked. But I do note that sometime, I believe in the next month or two, the flyweight version of Tough is starting up. And you can do with that information what you will. But that, to me, is pretty damn exciting if that's the case.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. When I thought of the weight class, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I know what I could be interim. All right. So this is interim. Title fight, Marcus Degli, Brazil versus Lincon. Lincon, Lincon Santos from Brazil, 5-minute rounds, 125. Santos is 9-2, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, so finishing both his losses. 4-0 in LFA. He's won 3 straight and 7 of 8. The last 3 wins have all come via finish. Inch of height over Degli. Talandez. We've talked about him before, haven't we? I remember the nickname.
Yeah.
Translates to Thai.
Yeah, it means Thai, and that's just because he's a Thai style boxer.
Yep. He is 11-3, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once, 3-0 in LFA. He's won 9 straight, including his last fight via TKO. He's not lost since March 2022. Used to fight at bantamweight, 2 years younger than Santos. What are the people say? Degli or Degli? Is it Degli or Degli?
Degli, I believe. Yeah.
94%. So this is another squash match according to the Degens.
I was going to say -250, -275 on Degli, but if those numbers are to be believed, it's probably even a little bit bigger. I actually don't even mind if it's a little bit bigger. I'm probably still putting Degli in parlays here because, first of all, like I said, Thai style striker. He's a little bit upright in the way he strikes, but he's got really nice kicks. I like the way he puts counters together. He's got a really nice jab slip and then follow it up to the body that I'm a big fan of. He's fun on the feet. In the couple of times I've seen him with top control in fights, he keeps his hips low, he keeps himself safe. And that's really important in this fight because the only thing about Lincon Santos that's like worth noting is his submission game. I watched his last fight over again. He got absolutely battered in every sense of the word through the beginning of that fight. He got outboxed as if he had never boxed. He got badly out wrestled. He was getting beat up with ground and pound and then inexplicably pulled off a heel hook and won the fight anyway. And now he's in a title fight as a result of it, which is, like props to him. Like it's that like ace in the hole he has. He can be so much worse than you and still beat you. But here's the problem is that, like, first of all, I think Degli's smart enough to not go to the ground with him. And if he's smart enough to not go to the ground with him, I don't know that there's an entry for Santos to win this fight unless it goes there. And then secondly, on top of that too, like, as I mentioned, he keeps his hips really low when he grapples and he puts himself in a really safe position. And so if he does that in this fight too, I'm thinking he probably stays away from the submissions. I mean, the submission game from Santos is very high level, but I think Degli does enough things to stay away from it. His striking is going to be so much better. Wouldn't be surprised if he hurt him. I'll say this for Santos because again, I'm calling him one-dimensional here. That one-dimensional is so good, but then you add in that like he's got some of the loopier strikes you'll ever see at flyweight. I think that gets him peppered here. So give me Degli.
All right. What did you say in the 200s?
Yeah, high 200s, maybe, crack at 300 maybe.
All right. Boo. That's all right. Okay. We are, before we get to the main event, not just the main event, gonna be promised us 2 lightning round picks as well. Let me tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. The Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstake site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. In Underdog Fantasy, the big game is coming this Sunday and Underdog has you covered. New customers get a Travis Kelce free pick if they sign up before the game. Plus, Underdog's site-wide no sweat entry token is live now. You can cash in on your Underdog entry or get bonus credit in return. Do you have a play for the people? It says for the big game. We've given a lot of football ones already, but if you have more, Gumby.
The thing is we do so many shows.
I know.
That
compared to everybody else.
It seems like we're giving away too many of these. But I will say in general, we've been giving away a lot of Saquon picks, but I'm going to take CJ Gardner-Johnson from the defensive side. So far in the playoffs, he's been a big part of their game. So you can take his tackles plus assists at higher than 4.5. And he had 5 and 6 over the last 2 playoff games, or they're only 2 playoff, last 2 playoff games for that matter. So he's been really, really, really present on their defense lately. 4.5 seems like a number we could easily get higher than.
All right. See, Gumby knows the stuff. Sign up with the code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. Right, to the main event. The ladies are headlining this event. We had a whole ladies card yesterday, and now we got a ladies main event. LFA Strawweight Championship, Rose Conceição, the champ, versus Lany Silva, the challenger, both from Brazil. 5-minute rounds, 115. Tell you about the challenger first. Silva, 6-1, 1 knockout, 1 submission, never been finished in a fight. José some finishes. 4-1 in LFA, 2-0 over her last 2, won her last fight via submission. 3-0-1 is a pro kickboxer, 5 years younger than the champ. Conceição is 7-1, 1 knockout, 2 submissions, never been finished in a fight. 2-0 on LFA and the current champ. Did lose her last fight. That was on the Contender Series. Who'd she lose to, Gumby?
Sinara Silva? Sinara something Brazilian? But it's Sinara, the big tall one. Berguesina. Sinara Berguesina.
You sound like me. Just rambling, just spitting names out. Different pronunciation each time.
Sinara Berguesina.
Alexia Thayanara.
Alexia Thayanara. Why was I thinking Thayanara was her first name? Yeah, Alexia Thayanara. But
she probably has a bunch of names after Thayanara.
Berguesina is the nickname. It's Little Bourgeoisie.
It's probably Thayanara de Silva Costa dos Santos. So it's okay. Conceição, regional champ, used to fight at 125, an inch height, an inch reach over Silva. All right, where do you got the championship?
Thayanara. I'm like bummed at myself now. I'm a big fan of Thayanara too. Forgetting her first name is ridiculous.
She's not listening or watching. It's okay.
I know. I'm just bummed for myself. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And I'm gonna go Lady Silva here, and I think she's gonna be a dog. Probably not a huge one because Conceição is coming off of a loss. Granted, it was on Contender Series. I think Silva probably like plus 175, plus 180 or somewhere like that. But the bottom line is why I like her is because I think she can follow Thayanara's game plan. If you watched Conceição's loss on Contender Series, it was largely just like heavy pressure in the striking, back her up against the cage, wear her down with shots to the body, and just like a volume of shots. And if you watch Lany Silva fight, first of all, she is infinitely faster than Rose. Like I think she is just going to put a pace on her that maybe she's not ready for. And like Lany Silva's biggest issue in her career so far has just been like, perhaps she has a little bit of a wrestling deficiency. I don't think Conceição does enough of that she's going to give her trouble, especially if she's on the back foot. And then in addition to that, Lany Silva's jiu-jitsu is really sick. Like even when she gives up takedowns, like the jiu-jitsu she gets off of that is so good. Her last fight that you mentioned, she's coming off a submission win. that was a leg lock too. You know, we're talking about her and Santos, the two challengers, like leg locking their way to title fights here. And so like she's got a really good submission game should it end there. But I really do think, you know, the kickboxing background of Silva and the way that you could pretty much watch Alexia Steinara, you know, dial up a game plan for all future fast strikers with good pressure to beat Conceição. I think we see Lany Silva do the same thing. As long as she comes forward, refuses to walk backwards, I think she's going to hurt Conceição to the body, and I think she's going to wear her out.
Whew. All right. Gumby's picking probably an upset. What are the topologies? 22% for Silva. So my
guess at plus 180 is probably. In unison with that.
All right, let's recap, but don't you people go away yet. You got Lany around. He's got Silva. He's got Degli. He's got Delano. He has got. Oh, I didn't put the next one down. Let me go. It was Henrique. It was with a big dog. What number do you think you're hoping to get him at?
300 maybe.
Yeah, fantastic. Henrique, and he's got Dayneko Novi. Lightning round. Zap Bam Boom Paug. Hit him.
Yeah, so the first one I'm going to take is Natalia Silva, or Natalia Alves. Man, I am messing up the Brazilian.
Having trouble with the Brazilians today, Gumby.
Natalia Alves. And I shouldn't mess up Natalia Alves because she has pretty much everything we love in a Brazilian fighter going for her. First of all, she's a fighting nerd. That's one. Number two is she's a short queen. And number two, she's got great submission skills. I mean, like,
what more do you want?
That's everything I want in a Brazilian regional fighter. As I want them to be a fighting nerd, a short queen, and good at submission. So give me Natalia Silva in her fight. And then I'm also going to take Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva's a heavyweight. His only career loss is to Beppe Zhao, who we got to mention Beppe Zhao twice on this episode, which makes me smile. He's a fun fighter to watch. And so Thiago Silva, I think he's fighting a guy who I find to be rather overrated and won a fight his last time by, maybe not looking so good. So I'm going to take Thiago Silva as being like the Brazilian that's like perhaps a touch more well-rounded than the other one. So those are my two lightning round picks for this week. I'm going to take Thiago Silva and the fighting nerd / short queen, Natalia Alves.
What a delicious combination, fighting nerd and a short queen. All right, you're all set, ladies and gentlemen. Hit us up in the Discord for all your LFA 201 talk and every other event and anything MMA related. That would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube is MMA Gambling Podcast. SGPN MMA would be the Twitter handle that Gumby runs for us. He is at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. I'm Jeff Fox Writer on the old Instagram as well. Get in my Substack, enter my free UFC picking contest, and read my articles at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has got Top Turtle MMA podcast. Who's on it this week, Gumby?
So we are talking with Jamie Edenden, who had her fight canceled, sadly. I'm also talking to Cody Steele, and if all of my lined up interviews for tonight pan out, I wanted to give you two fighters who are fighting this weekend. Mm-hmm. I believe I have a last-minute interview with Killian Solokilled, who we'll talk about on tomorrow's show.
Yeah, nice. All right, so check all that out. Top Turtle MMA podcast, and of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. The code at store. We didn't do that ad read here. We have a special. Everything 15% off in our store, including the really cool SGPN Degen hats or this hat, for that matter. 15% off if you use the code Big Game leading up to the Super Bowl. And of course, if you're using Underdog Fantasy for the Super Bowl or anything else, make sure you use our code MMA SGPN. It helps us out and helps you out as well, because you get some free stuff given to you. Is it your turn to say goodbye, or no? It's my turn to say goodbye. We shall be back tomorrow. UFC is back, baby. Merciless Jeff Fox, Daniel Leia. Excuse me. We'll talk to you then.